for folks who don't know who you are, if you don't mind taking a moment and sharing your story with them, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, thank you. First of all, let me say my dad spent 3 years in a refugee camp after World War II, waiting for the United States Congress that one day his youngest son, that'd be me, passed a law called the Displaced Persons Act, which allowed my father and millions of others like him with these long and hard-to-pronounce last names a chance to come to America. So my late father had something in common with you because you spent a couple of years, right, in a refugee camp in Germany. Yes. Look, in so many ways, in fact, it was. My life was the American dream. My mother and father were working people. My mom was American-born. If she'd have come from the old country like my dad, I think my first name would have been as hard to pronounce as my last name. I'd have never been the governor of Illinois, but then again, I'd have never been inmate number 408922424. But my life's been the American dream because of the success that I was fortunate to have because so many people helped me. Then it was the Kafkaesque nightmare that came after it when I was sent to prison and was compelled to shelter in place for 8 years for politics, not for crimes, for what the Wall Street Journal called practicing politics. But, you know, the values that have made you so successful, Patrick, are the values my mother and father instilled in me, that you're fortunate and lucky to live in a great country like this, a land of opportunity. It's supposed to be a land of freedom. It's a fragile gift that we have that we shouldn't take for granted. I've learned some hard lessons about that. But it's a place where if you dream, you can reach those dreams if you're prepared to work hard to make those dreams real. I've been working since I was 9 years old, shining shoes, and I'm still working. And when I was in prison, it's funny because I was earning about $5.25 a month in prison. I earned more money as a 9-year-old shining shoes in Chicago than I made as a former governor in my early 60s.
And a lawyer.
Yeah. And all the rest. So, you know, I've been up, I've been down, but there's an old Irish proverb that says, even God can't make two mountains without a valley in between. So I'm climbing back up, and it's fun. As you know, the journey is even more fun than the destination.
So what's next for you? I watched the documentary, and here's one of the things I noticed about you. It didn't matter when it was, whether it's you walking out and you're about to go to jail, you're shaking hands. Hey, you're hugging this lady, and your wife's to your left, and you're hugging her. You're kissing her on the cheek, and you're hugging this other lady. You're always in campaign mode. Have you always been this guy that's shaking hands, building relationships? Have you always been that guy?
You know, I don't know. I guess so. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. When I was shining shoes, I know when I was a kid, in order to get the tips, you got to hustle, right? You got to get out there and schmooze a little bit and try to do a good job shining shoes and try to keep the black shoe polish off the white socks of the guy who's an engineer who shouldn't be wearing white socks with black shoes, right?
They should fire that guy. Or maybe he's a fan of Jerry Lewis. I think Jerry Lewis used to do something like that. He used to wear white socks with black shoes.
Right. That's right. Those old movies. Yeah. But, you know, I guess so. You know, I wasn't exactly great in school. I went to public school in Chicago. I wasn't setting the world on fire in school.
Who were you in high school? Like, if we were in high school together, who was? If I asked one of your classmates that was in high school with you, 10th grade, 11th grade, who was Rod?
Somebody who didn't do so good in physics and got a D in algebra, which was a classic case of grade inflation. You know, I played on the high school basketball team at Box Golden Gloves in Chicago. First time I ever got my name in the newspaper. Chicago Tribune was the Golden Gloves when I was 17, 18 years old. I grew up a real city life in a big city like Chicago. But I was lucky to have great parents that, you know, worked hard and sacrificed so I can go to college. And it was them, their hard work and sacrifice, that gave me a chance to get up high in politics. Now, as I said, looking back, it's a mixed blessing in view of what's happened. But I do believe, and I had 2,896 days to think when I was sheltering in place in prison. And I do believe God has a plan for all of us. And I think as bad as that was, as is written in Genesis, what they meant for evil, God meant for good. And I feel like there's some service that I can still provide, as well as working hard to build a better life for my daughters and my wife.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.